She's a conservative and I'm liberal, and yet we've been friends for almost 40 years. Everyone says you shouldn't discuss politics, religion, or money, and we say that's exactly what friends should be talking about. Join us as we tackle the conversations you're having in your head, but are too scared to say out loud. Hello, Jolene.
Hello, my friend Nicole.
How are you?
I am good. We're coming off a sugar high, coming off of Halloween weekend, and so we're all trying to recoup. Before we get started on our Thanksgiving episode, please take a moment, if you would, please, to like and subscribe to our podcast. This is a way for us to grow our community and to get our message out to more people like you. And if you are interested in being a sponsor, we would love for you to reach out to us. So please contact us on our website, we'vegot2talk.com. Contact us and we will get a hold of you. We'd love for you to be a part of this community.
Yes, we would. Absolutely. And so we are taking a little turn. This is a directive from our incredible producer, Brianna, who is based in Brisbane, Australia. And she has assignments for us. And this one, she wanted us to talk about Thanksgiving. And she wanted us to talk about our family traditions. She also wanted us to possibly look at it through a lens of liberal versus conservative, which I think is really interesting and maybe something and only an Australian or an outside of America would think about. Because I've been thinking about this, Jolene, and asking some friends. And I think possibly, I could be wrong, but I think that if there are differences in Thanksgivings, it's more about a cultural difference than a political party. That each family tends to have their own little way they do or interpret Thanksgiving. What do you think about that? Do you think that there's like a liberal way to do it versus a conservative way? Or even more fun, what do conservatives envision that a liberal Thanksgiving looks like?
Oh gosh, I've never thought about it. No, because I don't think there is a political. Yeah, I don't think I think it's probably, I hope that it is one of those holidays that we are all Americans, that we are celebrating Thanksgiving in, and you put away any of your political beliefs or your biases, and you celebrate just being thankful. Because I think it's probably for me more of a religious thing, even though Thanksgiving is not considered a religious holiday. It's a holiday where the family gets together and you talk about what you're thankful for. So as a Christian, then you think blessings come from God. And so I think we kind of turn it into, what are we most thankful for and what are we thanking God for? But really,
would you say that's specific to the Conway family?
And I would say a lot of our friends. I would say our friends and our family would feel like that.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, Jolene, in terms of the political thing, because we hear now for the last however many years, 10 years, let's say, like people get really stressed out about going to Thanksgiving for fear of those political conversations that will come up in families, because most families don't think necessarily one way versus the other. And there's always going to be somebody that might want to cause trouble, or the booze is flowing or whatever, and things are said. And so people sometimes, it has become political in a strange way that I can't speak for you, but it never was as a kid. There was nothing to do with politics when you were, there was dysfunction. There could have been like, the family member that you're like, oh, okay, but it wasn't about.
I remember my aunts and uncles getting into political discussions, even as a kid. Now, not heated at all like it is now, at all. But I do remember, the older generation would sit around the table. Sure. And they would talk about, my uncle who worked in a tire factory, and he would have the union perspective versus, my other uncle who started his own construction company. You know what I mean? So I think that's always been a part of getting together with family and different topics. But isn't it kind of funny that I think when we imagine getting together and with your family around the holidays and, how are you going to deal with your your relative who has politically different views than you imagine the worst. You can play out the scenarios in your head. Well, I know that Uncle so-and-so is going to say this. I just know that, this is what we all talk about yes. Getting together with your family members, and it's going to be, somebody's going to get mad and stomp off and go, that's it, we're going home.
But it's interesting, Jillian, when you say that, because I'm just thinking, and maybe this is liberal, I don't know why, but like energetically, if you go in with all of that anxiety, oh, Uncle Jim's going to say this, I can't deal. You've already put your guard up. You've already told yourself that story. So you're also going into that very closed off, very protected. And I understand why. We're in a very heated time, and everyone is, as we know, is seeing different things and hearing different things. And I mean, here's the thing. Maybe it's very different for you. I know you're super close with your family, but I imagine that you're still a family and you still have stuff.
Oh,
and so,
100%.
So those situations, whether it's Thanksgiving, any sort of family holiday, the family gathering, you're going in with tensions, right? Whatever it is, it could be tiny, it can be huge. Something that someone was pissed off that someone said 5 years ago, and they're bringing that to the dinner, whatever. And now you're in this world where, between the algorithms and the media you watch, and everyone is on edge, and you go in, and it's like you've said this before, it's like a powder keg, ready to explode, unless the only way it doesn't, because the only person I am learning, the only person I can control is myself.
Yep.
Right? Only person that Jolene can control is herself. So if there are more of us out there that like, okay, I'm gonna go into this dinner and I'm going to be more curious, or take a deep breath, or walk away for a moment, gather myself and come back. Like learning different behaviors that might change the dialogue.
Yes, but so you're right. I don't think it has to be just about politics. I mean, it could be whether the Cowboys are playing,
that's right,
and playing Detroit, and maybe somebody is going to be cheering for the Lions and somebody is cheering for Dallas. And I mean, it could be who brought the green bean casserole this year, because it sucks.
I want to know, like, what were your family traditions like when you were a kid at Thanksgiving? And what have you taken away from it? And are you always hosting it now? Or does it change?
Okay, so as a kid, we always went to someone's house, aunts and uncles, usually on my dad's side. No, I guess maybe sometimes we would get together with my mom's side. On my dad's side, we had so many cousins that it was always so fun. Like, we knew we were all going to get together. And if the Kansas City cousins were going to be there, they were the fun ones, and we didn't always get to see them. So are they going to be there? Like, it was always going to be, it was always, growing up was always about the kids getting together and playing, which is so sad because now as adults, we're like, God, we don't get together anymore with all of our cousins. And dang, we should have, we should do that because that was such a core memory. I mean, it's obviously it's always about the food. You know me, how important food is to me. So it's always, and my mom is such a fantastic cook. And my aunts and uncles were always, food was always the primary driver of that event. But then we started getting together. So then after Jeff and I got married, we started getting together with his brother. But it was always, being married to a football coach, it was always dictated around your football schedule. And so when Jeff was coaching at a lower level, usually we were done with football by Thanksgiving. And so we would have that, a 4 or 5 day weekend that we could go to Texas and go see Dan and Laura, or they would come up and we'd get together with Jeff's side of the family. But then once he got to higher levels and we were with the Fritzes, then it was all about Thanksgiving and football. And sometimes we'd have a bunch of players at our house because they couldn't go home. And so we'd have football players over, or you would have get together as a family. So the last probably, I don't know, 10 years, we've always done Thanksgiving with the Fritzes, our family. Willie was our head coach. And so we'd always it was a Fritz Conway, and usually other coaches and players.
And would you all potluck together?
Yes. Yeah.
Someone would do the turkey and...
Yeah. How about you?
Well, as a kid, I had a very similar experience. So again, nothing to do with liberal or conservative, where I remember as a kid, it was all about hanging out with the kids. It wasn't families. It was like friends that were like family. My mom and dad had this group of really fun friends and they all had kids. And so we would go to the East Bay. They had a bigger house or something, and we would all play together. People would play football. You'd play games. You'd watch Thanksgiving movies, and I'm assuming the parade. I can't really remember that part. I do remember having like fond memories of like being around the grown-ups and what were they talking about. And they were, the wine was flowing. They're having a great time. It just was like such a cozy, warm. I've always loved Thanksgiving. I don't have a lot of tradition around it, actually. For this episode, I was thinking about, there's one Thanksgiving that I remember so distinctly when things started to take a turn. So my parents got divorced when I was 10, and those family friends, things that I don't know had changed years before. People just moved apart. But my mom and dad still were close, and they were very friendly, and we would do holidays together. And it was soon after my mom and dad got a divorce, and she said, I will do Thanksgiving. And it was all of my dad's family. And my mom's was an incredible cook. And she just goes all out. And we had this beautiful dinner. I think it was eaten in 15 minutes. And everybody got up, and my mom completely lost her shit. And my mom was not this way at all. She'd keep things inside. But she lost it. And I don't know if it was like, she had gotten a divorce and took back her name and was like finding herself and maybe seeing things with new eyes and was like, what is going on? How is no one helping me? And it's done. And everyone was just...
So what did she do? Was she yelling? Was she crying?
She was yelling and crying. That's what I remember. God. And thinking, and I was thinking as an adult now, I was like, my gosh, I probably didn't help her. I'm like 10 or 11, and I'm like, oh, God, that's awful. That's such a horrible feeling when no one's helping you, right? Oh,
my gosh, yeah.
But I do remember that was definitely a turning point. But I've always loved Thanksgiving, and being at Iowa, like it was too close to the Christmas holiday and too expensive, so I would never go home. So I was always adopted by somebody. And I always really liked that because you get to go into a family's stuff and see what do they like to eat what do they like. And in some ways I could be a buffer because people would more be on their better behavior because there's kind of a stranger involved.
Oh, that is true, yeah.
Right? So I was thinking, I talked to a couple friends, and one of my friends is Basque, and her parents were immigrants, and she grew up in Idaho. And she was like, her parents wanted to, they were, embracing being American. But she was like, Basque people take every chance all the time to bring family together and eat. That's what we do. So it was just like, oh, Thanksgiving. They would celebrate Thanksgiving, but with their own food.
Yeah.
Like paella and all. I was like, oh my
Basque.
God.
I don't even know what that is. What's Basque?
The Basque country, northern Spain and France. It's a region. It's very old, and it's a very old language. And so that's my friend is, they have delicious food. That's all you really need to know.
I bet.
They have delicious food, and that's what they have for Thanksgiving. And then this other friend of mine, she grew up Mormon, and she distinctly remembers that the women cooked and cleaned and the men played football and played Risk. I was like
the board game?
Risk. Yeah, that was the thing. And I'm like, really? Okay. I think there was definitely more traditional roles of cooking and cleaning. I think that's kind of shifted a lot now.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Would completely agree. Yeah. Yes. Growing up, the girls always did the cooking and the cleaning, and the boys would go lay down and watch football and take a nap. 100%. Yep.
Yeah. But it seems to be very different now.
I hope. I hope for other families. Yes.
Yeah. Well, because what was it like having the football players?
It was great. Although we would have football players over, Jeff always wanted to have them over during the season, have them over just to grill burgers or ribs or spaghetti or, whatever. So, when you talk about then a huge Thanksgiving meal where you're prepared to feed people who were eating a lot already, and
how do you do that?
But on top of that, you go, oh, well, okay, we're going to get a couple extra turkeys and extra potatoes. And you just take everything times 5, I guess. I don't.
And were you doing that by yourself, or did you have
No,
help?
We would absolutely, we would do it. As a staff, or we would, although Willie would also get to the point, Coach Fritz would always get to the point where he would have Thanksgiving dinner brought in for the kids. So if they weren't going somewhere, that they would have, together as a staff and as a team, they would have Thanksgiving brought in so that they could all share that with them. I'll tell you, this is something I will totally credit my sister-in-law Laura on, that she was raised in Louisiana. And so her tradition was on Wednesday night, as everybody gathered to whoever house that you're at, she would make a big pot of gumbo, and we'd have and muffalettas. And so
explain what a muffaletta is.
You would have on Italian or French bread, and it is like salami, ham, and mortadella, I think, usually, and provolone cheese, and then an olive spread that is absolutely fantastic. And it's warm, so you'd wrap it up and you'd put it in the oven. And so muffalettas and gumbo is so delicious, and lots of wine. And so that's always been the tradition. Then on the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, that meal was almost as important as the Thanksgiving dinner, because that was, you knew whoever house that you were going to, that there was going to be, this delicious meal waiting for you when you got there. So I love that, because then the real dilemma came on Friday and Saturday is, do you have the leftover gumbo or do you have the leftover Thanksgiving? And you could kind of have a little of both. You were hoping that there was enough left over for both. What do you do on Wednesday night? Because I think a lot of people do pizzas on Wednesday night because they're cooking and doing all this prepping and everything.
Yeah, I don't have any recollection of what happens Wednesday. I do remember enjoying having the Thanksgiving Day parade on in the background in the morning when you're cooking. Yep. And this is a later love, but I love that Westminster Dog Show.
Yes, absolutely. Because it's on right after Macy's Day Parade, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's the best. Those dogs give me so much joy. I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it. I think it's funny, when you do decide to create a Thanksgiving with, maybe your family's sort of set, but if you get into a situation where you're bringing friends together or something, and that you find those friends that you've known forever, it's a non-negotiable that this thing has to be on the table. And you're like, you like that? Is there something that in your Thanksgiving is a complete non-negotiable, and is there something that you're like, no way is that on my table?
I'll tell you the one controversial thing that's been added these last several years that I never grew up thinking was because we're very traditional. It's turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy, dressing, green bean casserole, deviled eggs, cranberries. That's really sweet potatoes.
Is the dressing inside the turkey?
No, outside. No. Just outside.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Not the wet.
Well, because then we started smoking a turkey. Jeff smoked a turkey last year. It was the best we've ever had. And sometimes we've deep fat fried it, the Cajun, right? Fantastic.
The heart attack.
But here is the thing the last couple of years, and I would love to get your opinion on this. Macaroni and cheese. Is that a Thanksgiving side?
That to me is a Southern side. Because you go into the South, they will, like a lot of barbecue places. In North Carolina, we did a barbecue tour. We were actually going to see a friend's play. And so then we went through North Carolina and we're eating lots of barbecue. Mm-hmm. And they would put under the vegetables, it said macaroni and cheese. I'm not kidding. Every single menu, vegetables, macaroni and cheese. And we were like, two New York City girls going, what? Okay. You're starting to get some son-in-laws in your life. Mm-hmm. How is this going to change Thanksgiving?
Well, I'll tell you what. For Trey's family, their side of the family always got together in Fort Worth, and their grandparents lived on a ranch. But their tradition was to have chicken fried steak on Thanksgiving, and they would make it out by the chuck wagon. I mean, it was a whole, very ranchy kind of thing to do.
Is chicken fried steak a steak with a deep fried crust?
Amen, sister. Yes, it is.
Is it really? Think Kentucky Fried Chicken, but instead of a chicken, it's a steak inside.
Correct. And I think it's a minute steak. I mean, I think it's like
Is it thin?
So don't think ribeye. I mean, think of a cheaper cut of meat. And
like a cutlet,
yes, and it's
flat.
Tenderized. Yes, tenderized, and then breaded. My mouth is watering just talking about it. And then deep fat fried. It is, oh my gosh, I ate it. I mean, I would eat that for lunch when I was pregnant with Callie, our oldest. I would stop at Luby's and eat chicken fried steak and fried okra.
I love fried okra. I love okra.
Wait, did you say what's a Luby's?
Yeah, what's a Luby's?
Only the greatest cafeteria ever known to mankind.
Is
like
it
a cafeteria, yeah.
Okay. It's in Dallas, San Antonio, El Paso. Yeah, it's all over Texas.
Okay, good. I'm glad it still is there.
We'll put the website in the show notes so somebody can go have some Luby's chicken fried steak as your pre-Thanksgiving meal.
Oh, there you go. Or if you were traveling, you can stop at Luby's and get your chicken fried.
There you go.
Mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh. Yeah.
And
so that's Trey's tradition. This year, we are going to Texas because then our future son-in-law, Jacob, he's a coach for TCU, and they play on Saturday after Thanksgiving. So we are going to go to Fort Worth on Thursday of Thanksgiving. All of us will ascend onto Fort Worth. Where Patsy
You're going to drive, aren't you?
No, we're going to fly.
Oh, thank God.
I know.
That just seemed too long.
But I'm worried about flying this Thanksgiving. I think it's going to be crazy. But anyway, so we will all go to Fort Worth. Bobby's coming in. Patsy and Trey will already be there because they're doing the ranch Thanksgiving. Then we're going to go to a restaurant Friday night with Jacob's family and have Thanksgiving at a restaurant.
Have you ever done that before?
No, I've never had Thanksgiving at a restaurant. You have?
I have.
Was it a good experience?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and like traditional different. Thanksgiving food?
Yes. I mean, if the food is, listen, if the restaurant's good, the food's going to be good. During COVID, there is a really incredible restaurant in New York City called Union Square Cafe. And, people were struggling. Restaurants were struggling during COVID in New York City. People were not going. It was a very different vibe than probably the rest of the city. But Union Square Cafe was emailing everyone and saying, we will deliver Thanksgiving dinner to you. And we were like, why not? And so you could order turkey and sweet potato mash and cranberry sauce and stuffing and you name it. Honestly, it was the best Thanksgiving I've ever had.
Really?
And it was, at the time, Jax was not really into food. I wish he was the kid he is now, because he would have eaten everything. So we had all this beautiful food for basically me and Josh, and we ate it for days. But it was like, and it was all like labeled and perfect, and there was like reheated at this temperature for this, and it was really special. But now that we're talking about this, I do remember going to like fancy Thanksgiving with my dad and Jackie. Jackie was not really a cook, so it sort of took the pressure off in that way. It's strange, but it can be really elegant and nice, and you don't have to do any cleanup, and it can be delicious, and I mean, it's obviously totally different than what you're used to.
So what will you do for Thanksgiving this year? Wait, can we talk about this? Do you want to talk about it?
Of course.
Okay, so what is this year going to look like?
So this year's going to be totally different. Josh and I are flying out to Asia. And so we are going through Seoul, Korea, which we've been to before and absolutely loved. And then we're going to spend most of our trip in Cambodia. And we are going to Phnom Penh, Siem Reap, this little island called Krabi Island. Then we're going to fly through Singapore, and we will be in Tokyo on Thanksgiving. And then we fly back to the States the day after Thanksgiving, which will just be a day in Tokyo. And basically, we're just going to eat our way through all of Asia, and it's going to be incredible. We've never been to Cambodia, and we're so excited.
When you get back, then, will you eat a Thanksgiving dinner? Like, is Thanksgiving one of those meals that you're like, oh, we're going to do it on Sunday after we get back or something?
No.
Okay.
No, which is not, it's funny, I was talking to Josh about this a little bit. Like, we crave family, and I think it's one of the things that attracted us to each other is that we both came from families that, now his parents are married, so it's not that, but that just didn't have traditions and that sort of cozy, safe feeling. And so we like to host any kind of party, and we love to make people feel welcome. Like, we're very aware of the feeling of, do you have some place to go? And we want to be a place where, yes, please come. We will take care of you. We will feed you. We will love you. Like, and thinking about this Thanksgiving episode, I was talking to him about it, and it sort of really hit home in a way of like, what is family and what does this all mean? And I can't speak for Josh, but for me, I mean, we love food and we love delicious food, but that is the last of it. It is that feeling, that yummy feeling of being with people you love and feeling cozy and safe and like you've got each other. So the food, I mean, honestly, Jolene, a lot of Thanksgiving dinners aren't very good. Like, turkey is really hard to make well. Yeah. I totally botched it last year because our sink fell into itself. Seriously.
That's right.
Do you remember?
I remember, yes.
Our sink fell into itself. It was such a nightmare. I was hosting Thanksgiving, and it was 4 days before Thanksgiving, and the sink literally, we were hosting a dinner, and we never leave the dishes in the sink, but it was a brand new house, so okay. So we left the dishes in the sink to clean, after our guests left instead of like doing it while they were there. Yeah. And they're walking out the door, and we hear this boom, and Josh and I look, we're like, oh my God, and the sink had fallen into the hole, broke the disposal, and I'm like, I have to host Thanksgiving. What? And so the long and the short of it, my sweet friend Rachel was like, I'll host it, no big deal. And I'm like bringing my dad to her. So I'm like, okay, you're now hosting it, and I'm bringing dad. But I still did the turkey, but it's a nightmare to try to do the turkey and then move it. And so I moved it, and it still kept cooking those 20 minutes getting to her house. And
was it dry?
Yeah. I've done good. I've had some very good successes. There's a Tom Colicchio recipe that I think you would absolutely love, Jolene. It's basically lots of butter, salt and pepper, and then you stuff that bird with all kinds of delicious herbs.
Yeah.
And it's so simple and so buttery delicious. And it usually works, except if you're trying to bring it somewhere. And I think it's from my Southern family, like weird stuff that I, and no offense, listener, viewer, if you love it, God bless you. But like that Jell-O stuff with the marshmallows in it, or I don't like that kind of stuff. That's not my thing.
No, I agree.
I do like the canned cranberry sauce.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I know. I love fresh, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna tell you the truth here. On We've Got to Talk. This liberal actually likes the can. I know it's kind of gross, but I like a little sweet with my turkey. Right. It's kind of yummy.
Oh no, I agree. Right? I love but I do my
cranberry is good.
Yeah, I do a cranberry, and it's just you boil it. You add a ton of sugar and a little orange zest and orange juice in it.
Because that's what the Union Square Cafe did, and it was delicious.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Oh
yes.
My God.
Okay, wait. Is your dressing a cornbread dressing or a white bread dressing?
I love a cornbread.
Real now, see, that's a Southern thing.
My mama was Southern, so it was. I mean, my mom and dad grew up in Texas and met each other in San Francisco. So a lot of my traditions are not that San Franciscan. They are way more. There's we'd have okra and we'd have cornbread and we're going to talk about these in other episodes, but that continues on with certain things that happen at Christmas time for me or New Year's Eve that are full from the Southern tradition versus California. Yeah. And then there's some very California things that also, which I think is really cool.
No, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Because we've incorporated probably the last 10 years Brussels sprouts. I
love Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, again with tons of butter and some pine nuts and bacon and garlic.
You love your butter.
Oh my God, do I go through? Do you know how much butter I go through making a Thanksgiving dinner? I'm sure it's at least 3 pounds. I bet I go through 3 pounds of butter. And honestly, if you try to use less than that, I think you're wrong. I mean, you're just wrong.
Listen, it's rude. Your kitchen, and you're not going to be there this year, but your kitchen is so fun and so great. Do you enjoy cooking the Thanksgiving? Have you hosted it there before?
Yes, we did last year. Had my whole family here last year. Yeah, it was great. Okay, so you've talked about Thanksgiving as a kid, but as an adult, then you've had friends over in New York. What else have you done as an adult?
Before I met Josh, Whitney is one of my best friends. I've known her since we were 3 years old. And her mom, Susie, was one of my mom's best friends. And Susie is like a mom to me. She lives in Napa. She actually hosted our wedding. And for years, I mean, she always has, we're permanently invited, which is such an incredible thing to her Thanksgiving. And she lives in this incredibly magical house that she built with views forever. If the fog isn't there, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge from Napa.
My word!
It looks like an Italian countryside, but she has this very modern house, and it's just super considered. And she's the best host, and I love her so much. And so she has always included me, and so I was going there pretty much every year as an adult for I don't know. I'm just going to throw out a number, 15 years or so. And then right when I met Josh, getting political a second, it was actually 2012. And we met at the third week of October. And I was standing in line ready. I was about to vote for the 2012 election between Romney and Obama.
Yeah.
And I live downtown near the stock exchange. At that point, we voted at this residential building around the corner from where I lived. And across the street from this building is a Trump building with this Trump sign. I mean, who knew that this was going to be our life later, right? So I'm standing in line, and I've just started dating this man, but we are crazy about each other. And he texts me, and he was a single dad. And he's like, hey, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? I don't have jacks. And I was like, and I honestly, I think it had been 2 weeks by then. Like we had barely.
Oh, really? Just started dating.
We started dating October. We had our first date October 22nd, and this would have been like November 4th or something, right? So I see this text, and I immediately text Susie and Whitney, and I'm like, so I met this guy, and what do you think? They're like, bring him. And at the time, I would go out to California, and I would spend like 10 days, so I could go see all my girlfriends and then spend time up in Napa with my pretend mom. And so Josh flew out, and Josh met my pretend family before he met my real family at Thanksgiving in 2012. And within an hour, Tony is Susie's husband and my pretend dad. They were like, so when are you guys getting married? And we got engaged 2 months after we met. We got engaged in Bruges, Belgium. And we were on the train coming back to Brussels. And I immediately emailed Susie, and she's like, please get married at my house in Napa.
Oh.
So that's the Thanksgiving it's sort of a Thanksgiving story, but yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes. She is my sort of grounded, like it's always, are you guys coming? When are you coming? And Josh and I are so incredibly grateful that we have them and have that safe space. But Thanksgiving can be crazy. And very selfishly, we love spending time with them alone. So sometimes it's like, let's just go visit them when it's not Thanksgiving to not deal with all the rest of the drama that happens at Thanksgiving. So
yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Okay, so our advice for this Thanksgiving to the listener: do not fret. Do not conjure up all of these thoughts of what could go wrong. You're getting together with your cousins or your aunts and uncles or your siblings and the people that are going to drive you crazy. Don't think that the worst is going to happen. Don't try to paint this picture before you even get there, and think of the good that can happen. And make sure that you're not starting your conversations with, now, why do you think that? No, don't start with why. Start with how. How did you come to believe that? Or tell me what your experience was that led you to feel that way. Really try to ask somebody with curiosity how they came to believe that, instead of immediately when you say, now, why do you believe that? Why did you vote for Trump? Why did you, whatever it is. When you start your conversation like that, immediately the other person has put up a wall, and nothing good is going to happen from that conversation.
Another thought is, if you find yourself in a situation at Thanksgiving, or if it's an entire weekend, because sometimes that's what this is. It's not just one meal. You're at someone's home or gathering for several days. If something is really bothering you and it's with one person, sometimes it can be better if you possibly approach them separately from the table and not make it a performance, which I feel like we, with social media, have gotten really used to. Mm-hmm. That we expect that from each other. We certainly get that, Jolene, all the time when people watch our podcasts or listen to our podcasts. It's like, well, why aren't you getting mad at Jolene? Or why aren't you getting mad at Nicole? Jolene and I have done our first interview, and we're super excited about it. And we'll air several weeks after you will hear this Thanksgiving episode. But one of the things that our guest talked about that was really helpful was that we all have stories. We all are the main character in our life, and everyone else is the extra. And we also are the extra in their life. And so if you approach each situation as an opportunity to get to know this human being, and maybe it sounds corny, but they're a storyteller. Ask them about their life, and it might make sense why they believe what they believe, how they feel about Trump or guns or abortion or all these hot topics that Jolene and I have been talking about every week for now. We're in our 9th month, which is so exciting. But it's like we all have so much to give and so much inside of us that makes us who we are. Mm-hmm. And if you approach it like, here's this person that thinks totally different than me, maybe approach it in your brain as like a game. Don't make it about you, because it's actually not about you.
Right. So true. And that curiosity. Go into these conversations with curiosity instead of accusations or assumptions or preconceived notions. Just go in with curiosity.
Yeah. And I think also, Jolene, I think it's hard sometimes because a lot of people drink a lot at these, and sometimes they drink a lot at these events because of anxiety or they're uncomfortable. People are just having a good time.
Yeah.
I'm just suggesting that if you're going into a situation where you're already feeling uncomfortable, maybe don't take that next drink. Because when you inflame your emotions, it can get real ugly really fast. You're even more sensitive. Things can be said that you don't want to say. What do you think about that, Jolene? I feel like your face is, you disagree.
Yeah, I say drink more. I think it just makes everything more fun. I'm teasing. Go give Aunt Agnes a shot of
I saw your face and I was like, what?
Did my face really say that?
Yeah, your face did. And I was like, I just, listen.
I think bringing Jell-O shots.
I respect all the flavors of the people. If you want to drink or not drink, I don't care. I'm suggesting that sometimes it can be a recipe for trouble.
And I think if you show up at Uncle Jim's house with a round of Jell-O shots, that it'll be the best Thanksgiving you've ever had.
Do you have Jell-O shots at your Thanksgiving?
No.
Of course not.
But not that I'm opposed to it.
I'm not opposed to it either. I guess I said I was opposed to it, didn't I? I don't know.
I'm thankful for you, my friend. I am thankful that we've been able to do this podcast together and been able to explore our own beliefs, but in a really safe and accepting way that has been so great. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for you too. There's such a risk. There can be such a risk in working with your friends. And here we are in a situation where it's so vulnerable and we are talking about such incredibly difficult things. And I can confidently say I've never felt closer to you. And I'm so proud of who you are and who we are and what we're trying to do. But I'm like, you're my chosen family friend. I just love you so much. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful.
That is so sweet. I love that. Thank you, friend.
Shall we good for the soul it?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love mine. I love this. And I think I have been trying to find other things on my feed. And I think we've said this before, that aren't political, because I think I do, click on the things that are political, and I subscribe more to things that are on both sides of the political spectrum. And so that's what my feed keeps giving me on social media. So I'm trying to search out things that are not political. And one that I have found that I love is people choosing kindness. It is so great because it is, and I think it's international, because sometimes
is this an Instagram handle?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. People choosing kindness, and it sometimes it's in other languages, so it's not always it's not American based.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I don't think. I guess I don't know that. And it's fun stuff, and it's just happy, and it's kids, and it's animals, and it's people doing happy things and nice things for people, and it's great.
And it says here to cleanse your Instagram feed.
Oh, there you go.
That's nice. That's really nice. I'm going to follow it right now. Mine is political. Oops. But it's a happy political.
Okay.
So,
all right.
so this Tangle News, one of our favorite news sources collectively, they also have a YouTube page, and they were on a little tour. They went out to California and did an in-person event. And so to give a little backstory, the reason I learned about Tangle, and it was right when we just had decided last November, let's do this podcast.
Yeah.
And a girlfriend of mine sent me this, do you know the podcast, This American Life?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So she sent me a This American Life episode, and they were doing, I guess they always do it in 3 acts. And the first story was about these families, these relationships that were falling apart because each member was either voting for Kamala or voting for Trump. And there was this one couple named Emily and Dick, and they were married, and they were so close to getting a divorce because of the election. Oh, wow. And then they found this news source called Tangle. And so they were interviewed on This American Life, and as Isaac Saul would say, and I was one of the people that started subscribing to them, they got like over 100,000, maybe more subscribers in a week because of that particular article. Like they just got flooded. And maybe it was even more than 100,000. It was a lot of people. Anyway, the Good for the Soul it's a YouTube video, and it's Tangle News, and it's a special interview. Turns out they were doing this event in Irvine, California, and Emily and Dick live there. Oh. And so he got to interview them, and it was really sweet and moving, and just
and they're happily married.
And they're happily married, and they still read Tangle every day, and they are much more informed in a very independent way, as we say. And I think it would give everybody hope, whether you're a conservative or a liberal. I think it's there's some hope out there. There's some hope out there.
There is hope. There is hope.
Give me your would you rather.
It's a very simple one on this Thanksgiving. Would you rather have pecan pie or pumpkin pie?
I knew it would be about food. I knew it. Neither are my favorite. Pecan pie, we definitely had it in our family because it was Southern, and so I remember, and I remember my dad loved pecan pie. It's too sweet for me. And pumpkin, just not the biggest fan. I love pumpkin ice cream, but I guess I'm going to go with pumpkin. If it's a really good pumpkin, I'll go there. What about you? Okay. If you had to choose.
Well, I'm not a pumpkin pie fan at all. Never have been.
Yeah. I like apple.
But, yeah.
With a crumbly top.
With a crumble top, yes, yes. I completely agree. But I actually make a derby pie at Thanksgiving. That? It is, think of a pecan pie, but you put chocolate chips and a little bit of bourbon in there. So, yeah.
Telling you conservatives.
Pecan, I know.
Conservatives. What? I mean.
So if you think pecan pie is sweet, you throw a little bourbon in there and some chocolate chips, and it is divine.
But
and there's also a stick of butter.
Bite.
And there is a stick of butter in there as well.
Do you have a kind that you like? Is you a favorite kind?
Yes. Aren't you the one that started me on the Irish butter?
Yes.
What's the brand?
It's called Kerrygold. There is a butter that we used to get at our butcher in the West Village. It almost like a huge golden egg, and it's just filled with salt. It's so delicious. It's really expensive. We don't get it anymore, but we used to put it on our popcorn and.
Oh my gosh!
Salivating.
We had popcorn last night for dinner. It was actually our dinner along with some cheese and crackers. I woke up this morning and my eyes were slits. I was so swollen, like my entire body was just. Yes, and I loved every minute of it.
Good. Good girl. Do it. Listen, when I get my checkups, I have friends that just tease me because I've told you this before. I salt everything. Mm-hmm. And again, I just had my blood work done again. They're like, your sodium's low. I'm like, yes, give me some salt.
Keep doing the salt.
Give me some salt. Okay, here's the deal. My would you rather is political. I don't know what happened, but I'm just being political today. Because I was thinking about Thanksgiving, and I'm thinking about there's so much anxiety. I'm like, or you could just walk into the house and say, hey, everybody, we're not going to talk politics. End of story. Okay. You could do that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, but not with my would you rather. You ready?
Okay.
Would you rather host Thanksgiving weekend, the whole weekend?
Okay.
With Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries?
Oh, my God.
They're going to hang out in the Ozarks with you at your beautiful home.
For the whole weekend?
For the whole weekend. Sit on the porch, drink the coffee. Who is it going to be, sister?
I'm probably going to choose Chuck Schumer. And here's why. Because first of all, I listened to an interview with Hakeem Jeffries on Friday driving in the car, and I was listening to CNN, and they had this interview, and I need to find out who the interviewer was because he was fantastic, and he was filling in for somebody, and I don't typically listen to CNN in the afternoon, so I'm not sure who it was. They were really tough questions, and Hakeem was not answering, but like he asked a very pointed question, and Hakeem wouldn't answer it. And he goes, okay, I appreciate you telling me that, but here was my question. My question is blah, blah, blah. And he was trying to dance around it. And it was I'm like, okay, well, thank goodness you're holding his feet to the fire and trying to get an answer on this instead of just moving on to your next thing. Anyway, and it was during this, and it was about the government shutdown. And I was getting so frustrated with Hakeem Jeffries' answers because, again, it was just the same talking points over and over and over again. And he wasn't really saying anything. And it was just frustrating. So I'm going to go with Chuck Schumer. I'm hoping that he could bring his niece, Amy Schumer, with him. I would invite the family. If it's Thanksgiving, then I'm going to invite the family because I think that she would just keep us all laughing all weekend long.
I actually think that by the end of that weekend, you and Chuck would be seriously big buddies. I really do.
Yeah, we probably would. Yeah.
I didn't think about any of that Amy part. That would be really fun.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Thanksgiving, I'm going to invite his whole family, not just him.
I like this for you. Let's make it happen.
Charlie, if you want to come to Thanksgiving. Not this year. We already have plans. But next year.
Exactly. Next year. All right, doll. Thank you so much. And thank you, listener and viewer, for coming on this ride with us. And if you want to share your Thanksgiving traditions and what you have done in the past, what you're doing this year, you can share your comments on the YouTube page, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on all the places, quite frankly.
Yes.
We are there. And you can contact us on the contact page of We've Got to Talk as well.
We would also love to hear that if you have had an experience after Thanksgiving that maybe you took some of our advice and you had a conversation with someone that you were maybe not looking forward to having a conversation with, let us know how it goes. We'd appreciate that.
We would. And we got you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And Jolene, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Please like and subscribe if you would, please. And if you would like to be a sponsor, let us know. We'd love to have you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We've Got to Talk is produced across the world by the wildly talented, creative, and hilarious team at Bambi Media. Our theme song is Jump Jive Swing by Space Train Unlimited. Thank you so much for listening, and join us every week for another episode of We've Got to Talk.